I know some people are on the fence about it. Some people maybe think that we're going into the same game, but what I've been seeing and from the trailer and actually reading the deep dive, that's something that I think you guys should all go and take a look at. I think we're gonna have ourselves a very good career mode experience this season, and I cannot wait to bring you guys videos on it. And let's just get into it, see what, you know, potentially I'm gonna like, potentially I'm not gonna like. Let me hear feedback from you guys in the comments and just see how it's going to be this season. And I cannot wait to finally get my hands on this game and create content for you guys, because Lord knows FIFA 20, yeah, it's still there, but yeah, it's FIFA 20. So right here on the deep dives, there's a bunch of new things: interactive match simulation, new match launcher, player development, player positioning, conversion. That's something I'm very excited about. New active training, player sharpness, player feedback, team schedule planning, new transfer options and improvements, additional improvements, and broadcast improvements. Now, interactive match simulation, you guys have probably seen it in the trailer, so there's really not much more to say about that, but it's a feature that has been in FIFA games and has been in like NHL games for the longest times. So I'm really happy that they decided to bring that, and I cannot wait to see just bring new ways to bring career mode videos or just to play for you guys. But let's go over to the new match launcher. You can launch each match with one of these three options: play match, sim match, quick sim, and you get to see, I guess, the other team's probable lineup. That's something really cool. It's something that you really needed two controllers to do if you wanted to see the other team's lineup and actually make changes for them. But this is something that I'm very excited about. It's going to give you a probable lineup, and just you're going to be able to go more in depth with the other team. Player development, there's something that they're talking about. Player growth is determined through XP accumulation based on how well they do during matches, their form, and potential to grow. That's something I've wanted to see. I want to see players going up based on how they do in matches. It's something that I've wanted to see for such a long time. I don't think it was like talked about a lot in the trailer, but something that you guys should read is the deep dive, and it's actually giving you a lot more than maybe what the trailer gave you. This is what we wanted. This is what I wanted. If a player's doing well during the game, I want to see that reflect in his stats and his potential and his attributes, and it's just something that I wish they would have brought in a long time ago, but we finally got it. And you can train them up to be multiple positions. Let's say you have a striker and you want to convert him to like a right winger. Basically, I'm not sure if the right winger is going to be his main position. We're going to read about that in the player position converter. It says conversions can also impact work rates and skill move abilities of player. Converting a winger into a fullback, they'll need to develop their defensive work rate for their conversion to be complete. Moving a player to a more advanced position, they will need to improve on their skill moves and be able to take on defenders when going forward. It also says that younger players will naturally be easier to convert into other positions, so you can mold them into the position you want them to play for your squad. So even if you're looking at a guy you want to bring into the club and you have like a specific position you'd like this guy to play, it's going to be easier to convert these younger players into the position you want, and declining veterans can be guided towards a position that helps them conserve their key attributes better. So let's say take somebody like Messi. Maybe throughout the later stages of his career, you decide that let's drop Messi just a little bit more back and play him a little bit more central, more as like a midfielder. Yes, his speed will go down, but that's actually something you can do and something I always wanted to see happen in these games, and I'm glad we don't have to rely on mods to actually change players' positions. There's also new active training. You're going to be able to put some players on some different trainings, but this is something that they actually say they're getting a bit more specific. Depending on the difficulty, training drills consume different levels of fitness, so you'll have to be conservative which players you want to train. The more difficult a drill, the bigger the fitness cost is, but the maximum sharpness output will also be more substantial. So the more you train, maybe you'll get a little bit more tired, but you'll have to conserve your players. You'll have to decide which ones you really want to train, and their sharpness is going to go up, because that's something that is new in this year's career mode. Sharpness ranges from 0 to 100. Sharpness at 50 means the player is average. Sharpness between 50 to 100 means the player is sharper than average and their attributes will be boosted, which makes sense. Last year it was based on form, so if a player was very happy, his stats would have gone up, and if he was, you know, low morale, his stats would have gone down. So that is fantastic. It says max sharpness 100 sets a maximum attribute boost, and then sharpness between 0 and 50 means the player is a bit below average. So maybe if he doesn't do well in the drills, minimum sharpness 0 will determine the max attribute reduced. And as they're showing here, let's look at a striker, for example. When the sharpness is 100, here's an example of the attribute boost: positioning +4, finishing +5, ball control 3, shot power 3. So that's for a striker. His stats actually matter. Basically, his sharpness is at 100, he's a striker, his positioning, finishing, ball control, and shot power is gonna go up. Like, how have we not had that in the past couple of years? Should sharpness reach 0, the striker skills will be reduced: positioning -4, -5, finishing, ball control and shot power -3. So even if their fitness is at 100 but their sharpness is down, then the player is going to underperform. Team schedule planning, this is something that they used to have. I'm pretty sure it was like training. I don't remember exactly in which FIFA, but it's something that they brought back. You can select training days. This is focused on improving match sharpness at the cost of fitness and morale. So you're gonna have to be conservative with the days you train, the days you rest, the days you recover, and it'll always affect maybe going into the next match and deciding which lineup you want to use. And now something that I'm very excited about, we have loan to buy transfer options. Finally, I don't know why they removed it. I can't remember exactly when the last time they had it, but they removed it. That's all you have to know. It's back. Loan to buy, instead of making risky transfers that maybe don't end up being good. I've made some of those risky transfers in my career modes on my channel that didn't end up being good, but maybe a loan to buy offer, you'll see how it performs in the first season. And if you want to trigger his option to buy and they live up to your expectations, then that's just going to be fantastic. Then it says AI player swap proposal. While player swaps were introduced to career mode a while back, you might have noticed that AI was still preferring old-fashioned cash-only transfers. The AI will now make player swap proposals with players of their own. So the AI may be getting just a little bit smarter, and they say, hey, you're not using this player, I'm not using this player, why not try and swap? That's something to also look out for. Then contract renewal improvements. We're giving the AI controlled clubs the ability to perform contract renewals based on the player's rank in the club. So you will usually not see top players in a club become free agents. It still can happen in some cases, but it's going to happen less. Now, we all know that you go on FIFA, you check the player's contract is expiring at the end of the season, so let's just wait till January, snap him up on a pre-contract. If he's a massive player, the chances of that happening now are going to be slim. So not every single person on YouTube is going to sign the exact same player on a pre-contract. This is something to get excited about. And then it just talks about the UI, the press conference, morale, impact. We've redesigned the way press conference answers impact the whole team. So sometimes last season, you're answering some stuff and I don't know, sometimes the morale will go up, sometimes the morale will go down. So I'm glad to see they're actually working on that. Established youth academy. When you take on the manager of a club, you no longer have to start setting up a youth academy by yourself. The club will already have a youth scout hired and a number of players already recruited into the youth academy. This is going to be something cool for maybe when you're doing just a youth academy only challenge, or just, yeah, yes, EA, you're finally taking into account what some people, most people want. I actually can't believe EA has actually done something like this, and I'm not going to be afraid to say it. I think FIFA 21's career mode is going to be good. I don't know if I'm going to look back on this in 6 months and say, wow, I was wrong, but I'm very hopeful, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited going into next gen and just excited to see something different. That's all I wanted to talk about with you guys. I think this year's career mode is going to be fantastic, and I'm setting the bar pretty high, and my expectations are really high, and I hope your expectations are good, and your expectations for me to come back and post, you know, consistent content is there too. But with this, I'm very excited, and I can't wait to see how different career mode is gonna be when you start with different clubs, when you do different like just leagues. Just I hope it's gonna be different and you're gonna be getting a different experience every time. If you guys have enjoyed this video, you can leave me a like down below if you want to. If you don't think it's gonna be good, let me know. If you think it's gonna be good, let me know. And if you're excited for FIFA 21, just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.